Last time on the Just Create SMP, I drilled a huge tunnel through the mountain next to my lake in order for my boat to take me to my main base area. However, as it turned out, I'd managed to drill the entire tunnel in completely the wrong direction. Hang on a minute, there's our starter island. We've gone through there to the... It's here. Then, during a live stream that took place between episodes, Stam came to see me. And for some reason, he wasn't very happy at all.
My terrain.
Which terrain?
That terrain.
What terrain?
Come with me.
I don't know what you're talking about, Stam. Oh, this bit?
Yeah, this bit.
I didn't go through your barrels.
No, but my terrain. My tracks are floating.
Well, the thing is, your tracks are too low in the world, mate. My boat's bigger than your tracks. That's actually the same height as this tunnel here. So you've put your tracks in the wrong place, mate. Is what's happened here.
No.
Yeah.
No, this is not
I
how that works.
haven't broken them, but they are in the wrong place.
But they're floating now.
Well, yeah, but because they're in the wrong
time on
place.
this beach.
What beach?
This beach that you ran through.
I can't see a beach.
Yeah, because you removed it.
I didn't. My boat did it.
Who built the boat? Who drove the boat?
You've been on that boat. Can you see where you're going when you're in the boat? For my live stream, I plan to decorate my gigantic new tunnel and then start laying the underground train track around the land, following the rivers to my main base area. However, Stam was rather insistent that I didn't do that. While we're talking about these problems, there's another slight problem as well, Stam.
Yeah.
So just bring up your map, right? So I've got to go up around through the savannah biome, following the river.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then...
And I'm heading... What I need to do is head east and south.
Towards the jungle? What do you mean east and...
My island is south. Do you know your nice bridge that you made over here?
Yeah, I know my very nice bridge.
Yeah, your nice bridge that's over here, my friend. Here it is, this nice bridge here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a bit in the way.
This bridge, Foxy.
Well, I got to. How am I going to get my boat to my base?
Where is your base? Why have you gone north?
Well, because I went the wrong way. It was either that or go straight through your basement. Or Throwlash's basement, to be fair. Could have picked his.
Go through his basement, not my tracks.
Go through Throwlash's basement, not
yours.
yours.
No, come with me. You're gonna go this entire. You're gonna go through all of this.
Yeah.
Instead of just going through here.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because I've gone the wrong way, and I've already put a lot of hours into it, and I don't think Throwlash would be too happy with me driving straight through his base.
I think you're gonna put more hours into it than doing that.
But then we'll have two giant holes in the side of the lake.
But my bridge will also be gone, Foxy.
Well, can't you make a bigger one?
No, I can't make a bigger one.
You can, you're really good at building. It took you like 5 minutes to do that bridge. At this point, it seemed unlikely that I would be able to convince Stam to move his bridge. So we spent a little more time planning out an entirely new side of the lake to drill through that wouldn't mean smashing through Throwlash's basement. I could just go through this bit, but he's obviously spent a long time digging this out.
Yeah, but you just be digging out a little more. And he gets a canal in his basement.
A canal in his basement? Oh, I'm sure he'd be over the moon to log in and find that that's happened without any consultation. If I'm going that way, I've got to go perfectly straight. It's going to look stupid.
Well, you go perfectly straight for a little bit, and then you can turn.
Well, if I went this side of his basement...
And then went the other side.
There's nothing this side. Yeah, if I went through this corner here, where his waterfall is, there's a lot more room.
And then you can turn around.
Yeah, and the lake's bigger here as well to actually make it easier to get into. That'd work. So now we'd agreed on a new direction, and because Stam had totally ruined my live stream plans, I felt at this point it was appropriate to demand some form of compensation. How much are you going to pay me to not go through your bridge?
I'll even make you the deal that I can fix up the terrain on the other side.
What, so we're going to plug up this hole that I've made?
I mean, I can plug the other hole if you want.
So, yes, this tunnel is now completely useless. It is a big gaping hole in the landscape that is here for no reason at all. And now I've got to use my tunnel boat all over again to go through the other side of the lake. Well, through that bit there, more specifically, in order to meet up with the river towards my island in completely a different direction. You see, on the live stream, what we ended up doing was creating a new train track that goes all the way under here, which you can barely see, and that goes directly past Throwlash's basement, just the other side of this wall. Then it goes all the way through this landmass to meet up with the river down here, and the track now follows this river all the way along this little bit of the river here, down to this bit here where we're going to be creating a brand new tunnel to cut through this landmass here. And then it comes out to here, it comes round this corner, and I've just run out of rockets. Oh, geez. And yeah, it goes all the way down here. As you can see, there are blocks, and you can see the track now because it's actually no longer below the stone below it. And it comes all the way over to this bit over here. Oh, geez. And that basically leads over to this point here, which is where we're going to be having the big old dock on our main base island. And that just ends down there. So there's a bit of work to do with that. And if we look at the map, you can see this is going to be my main base island. And the river that we've gone through, we've basically gone along here, around this corner, through this bit here, up this bit here, and then we're going through this landmass here over to the spawn island just there. And that's quite a long way to go, and there's still an awful lot of work to do because I've only laid the track so far. I haven't taken the boat down it and drilled any of the landscape, so I suppose we should do that next. I've got fireworks with me, this is good. However, before we do that, I've had a message from Throwlash because he wants to meet up about something else. And I've got a bone to pick with him about him draining the lake after I built my boat in it.
So, I tried, all right? I tried.
Tried? Okay. Yeah, you tried. Yeah, you did. You tried really hard to ruin my day, didn't you?
Oh, wait, what?
Wait, what? Wait, what? I build a boat and then I log in and 9 layers of water below sea level was gone.
In my defense, the last thing that you told me was drain the island. That was the last direction you gave me. It was drain the lake.
But there was a boat in it. Did it not seem obvious to you that things had changed slightly?
Okay, to be fair, you blasted your island into the sky, so anything could happen.
Should we just go down there a minute? Because speaking of things changing, there's a couple of things I need to talk to you about as of today. Thanks to Stam.
Uh-huh.
You know, I've made, you can see now, this beautiful tunnel that comes through here.
Ooh, yeah.
So there are a couple of issues with it. Mainly of my own making. The first issue is it's in the wrong direction to my main base.
Oh no.
Yeah. So what Stam suggested, and that I've now implemented sort of kind of a bit, is that instead of going that way, if you look at the track below, I'm actually going to go that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So your waterfall might get a bit broken. And it's not impossible. I might accidentally a bit scrape along the side of the wall of your workshop.
Sure. So here's the dealie, right?
Yeah.
Can I just build it back up? Is that cool?
Oh, yeah. As long as my boat can fit through. So it turned out Throwlash was more than happy for me to slightly a bit smash in the side of his basement. So much so, he even suggested I could do it on the other side, making my life substantially easier. Because I don't really like it going that bit there. I would prefer it to go through the dripstone cave here.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have a problem with me doing that?
No. Are you building a tunnel, or are you just going to plow right through it?
There's just about enough room, if you free cam slightly into this wall, to squeeze between Eggs's smooth stone blocks here, which I believe is the furthest part of his base, and your windows. Just. Again, there may be a little bit of scrapage. A bit. But it shouldn't be too bad.
You know what this is anyways? This is Beardstone's power thing, so you can just break the whole thing if you want to. That's fine.
Matter then, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Charge Eggs to put it back in?
Probably, yeah. Well, I did get quite a big invoice from him, to be honest with you, for all of the work I've caused him, and I'm trying to, get out of paying for it, but It's expensive. The conversation then took a turn towards how we both might deal with Mr. Beardstone and his lawless power company.
I don't know if you've seen this absolutely stunning windmill that's right here.
Yeah, I have seen that windmill.
So if you are interested in 100% reliable, uninterruptible power...
No. No. I am not buying power from anyone else. But what I would say to you in terms of power is I'm not happy with Mr. Beardstone. Okay. His power system is not only erratic at best, it's also very expensive. He's just changed the power tokens. He's not offering any refunds on the old ones, which we've bought a few of now. And my storage system, because I've had to put my elevator and my chains on a separate system, all of my machines turn off, and then every time I log in, my storage system's gone completely haywire again with all of the packages stuck on it. I had a thought about, a nice clean energy, not lava-powered competitor to Mr. Beardstone that was actually providing a good amount of power for the people of the server and not totally scamming everybody. If we perhaps work together on something, we could do better. We could create a rival power company that not only, isn't, me and you wouldn't be subject to stupid power tokens, but we could also push Beardy out of the market, making everything he's done completely pointless. And I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm game. Let's do it.
Now we had some form of plan. We obviously needed somewhere to build an ecological power station. And then all of a sudden, it turned out that all of my hard work over the last few days wasn't a total waste of time. After all, do you know what I've got? I've got this really big space that's got lots of water in it. And I don't need it anymore. It's down here, look.
So funny enough,
this giant space just here, right? Just think of how many windmills and water wheels you could put in there.
See, like the amount of natural wind that would just go through this natural cave system would be incredible.
It's basically a wind tunnel because you're right. All of the wind coming off the ocean's just going to funnel through here, swirl around in here, and then it's going to go back out at twice the speed. It's like, when the space rocket goes round things to get faster and then goes up. It'd be like that, but for wind.
This is genius.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
this
what I
is
thought.
Absolutely genius.
Yeah. You need to provide, obviously, all of the windmills and make it incredibly powerful. I'll do some decoration, make it look a bit nicer. So with the workload now evenly split, we just needed to think about distribution to the other members. Now, I don't want to say Mr. Beardstone's not very good at redstone.
However,
have you seen all of this?
Oh.
Just to do tokens, right? It's ridiculous. There are 4 redstone links in this tiny little space.
For why?
To connect to each other, because he didn't know how to put the redstone together.
Okay, so a third of the size.
Well, the other thing is, right, we just hook everyone up to it. We don't need to have a system in place that turns their power off, because that's annoying when that happens, is it? We'll just have a system in place that basically, in a central location where we're going to be building our thing, just counts how many hours they've been running for, and we'll just send them bills. Like monthly bills for how much money there was for the power. So I think it'll be a much better system than Miss Beardstone's.
Yeah. I don't know how doors work. I don't know. It's just.
I'll do the redstone.
Okay.
And we can do that. All we need to do is put a single clutch in the line to their base, put a redstone link on it, and then back in our wind tunnel. Oh, yeah, eggs hasn't paid. Just flick the switch.
Click. Crazy thought. I don't know if this works. Okay. Can you read? Oh, gosh, how it works?
I did it at school. I learned once. I don't do it as much as I should anime, but I think I can still do it.
It's been way too long for me, so that's good. You can do the redstone and reading.
Yeah.
I'll make things look pretty.
Good. Yeah. Excellent. Nice. Well, that's good. Not only do we now have a purpose for this tunnel, we also can completely relay this track that I don't like being at the side of the lake here. Actually, the other side of Throwlash's basement, in between Throwlash and Eggs, running along this window bit here that he's got all the way through that way. And that means the boat's actually going to line up in this lake a lot better. And hopefully it means it's going to be slightly easier to deal with on the other side. But yes, now I have even more work to do. So I guess I better get cracking on digging yet another tunnel through there. Oh, jeez. Okay, I have drilled a new hole under there and put some track all the way to meet up with the other track. I have removed the track from what I put in down there, and there's only one thing stopping me from drilling straight through this area here, and that is the fact that these vaults are almost full from all of the drilling we did through there. If you don't know already, when you use a tunnel bore like this one, any attached storage will fill up with the blocks that it drills away, and that just saves all of the blocks just floating in the world, so I need to offload it all. That means I need to use these storage interfaces on the side of my boat and link them up with something to get them down into my workshop down there. In terms of the map now, instead of going through here, we are going to be going straight underneath this area here and linking up with the river over here. And there is a slight issue with that. The conversation we had with Throwlash, we basically said to try and keep my boat on this side of his wall. And whilst there does look like there's enough room for my boat between this wall here and Eggs's workshop over there, there isn't. You see, Eggs has got this building here, and if we look up here, he's also got this little waterfall area, which means the tunnel can only actually come up to this block here, as I've marked out with this netherrack. And that means if we go down to the other end of this netherrack, that we are actually going to end up into Throwlash's workshop about this far. But he said he doesn't mind as long as I don't drill into the roof of his base, which we're not going to be doing, so that should all be fine. So I think that's the plan. And this time we're going to be going in a straight line rather than meandering through like a river, so I won't have to do it as wide as this one, and that means we should be good. So all I've got to do is get everything off the boat, and then we can actually drill through. Excellent, so all of the items should now be flowing out of the boat, down those chutes and into my workshop. There's only one way to find out. Oh geez, I don't think it's all going to fit in our storage system. I can see that moving, so yeah, items are definitely coming in and they're definitely going through. Now I imagine a lot of the stuff coming through, yeah, it's going to be cobblestone. I don't think we're going to need all of this cobblestone, so we might want to start ejecting some of that from the system into something that's going to get rid of it. Oh, what's going to be the easiest way to do that? Fire and lava. Because we don't use fire spread on here, I can literally just set fire to anything and it won't burn, which is great. So I'm going to put some fire there. I'm going to put a smart chute above that. Let's link a frog up to our storage system. Pop it on top of there. We're going to name that FNT burn. I'm going to grab my clipboard, click on that frog, put that back there. And now if I do cobblestone, oh wow, look, we've got 125,000 of it now. We'll send that to FNT burn and see what happens. That should come out of there, go into that frog. It did, and hopefully, yes, it went out of there. It is now, it got in the fire. That's brilliant. Don't need all of this. Might as well just watch what happens. Right, let's send a whole bunch this time. Jeez, it's going to take forever. We're already at 130. It's going in faster than I can get it out. Let's send 4,000 and see what happens. Oh, look at it. Just, yes, it's working perfectly. Just burning all of that cobble. Okay, so in order to automate this, I'm going to need factory gauges. I've only got one. Let's just pop that on there. We'll set that to cobblestone. FNT burn. No, I don't think we can just call it like that. I say 100 stacks. Is that going to do anything? No, but what I can do, I need 2 factory gauges. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 factory gauges on here. Cobblestone slabs. Add new connection to there. 64 at a time. FNT burn. Is that going to work now? It is. There we go. Now we're just burning away 64 cobblestone at a time automatically. Put it on many. Set the promises to expire. Now we should get 2. Yeah, there we go. That's quicker. Excellent. Question is, though, are these finished? I believe they are. Yes, the boat is empty. Nothing else is coming through these. That's absolutely great. So we can start doing some tunneling again. So first things first, let's get the boat onto the right track. Let's get into the boat, engage drills, and then let's go. We are very, very close to Eggs's base, but we've missed it. And this is going to take a while. It did. Although it didn't take quite as long as the massive tunnel I'd previously made. And I think that had something to do with me going more in a straight line this time. Either way, the next 3 hours of my life were spent running through the tunnel and then off all of the way to the new base area, carving out the rivers to make space for my rather large drill boat. And of course, I did this journey several times, both there and back and there and back, offsetting the bogies occasionally to make the tunnel and the rivers a little wider, to ensure my boat fit through properly throughout the entire journey. But of course, just making a hole in the tunnel wasn't enough. I also had to fill it with water, which did mean doing a little hole filling with some stone, as well as being attacked by many things. That wasn't the only thing I needed to fill with water, because not only had I destroyed a lot of the river edges as my drill boat widened its way to my base, but it also made an entirely new canal through one of the thinner bits of landscape. So after filling in all of those bits, as well as a few more further down the river, eventually the entire river was full of water and the track leading to the island was complete. Just in time for a cardboard man to arrive to speak to me.
I came to compliment your ingenuity. Your tunnel is fantastic.
You're back on my boat again, Legion.
Yeah, I came to use the facilities again. The bathroom that's downstairs.
What? Oh, geez.
I used that a bunch while I was hiding here.
So yeah, engineering. Which engineering are we discussing?
Your tunnel here. It is quite large, but yeah. I'm impressed.
Unfortunately, that tunnel, I went the wrong way. So I've had to build a new one now, which goes that way instead. So I have got a plan for that tunnel, but I don't actually really need it anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you didn't want to just punch through all of Stam and Beardy's stuff over there?
Well, I did, but Stam was very much against me doing that. So, yeah, okay. Sadly, I'm not able to do that, although that would have been nice. Legion then took me on a quick tour of his starter base before the conversation moved back to the lake. I'm thinking what I'd like to do in this lake is sort of, obviously my boat's going to come in. It needs to be able to turn round so it can go back out again. At the moment, you can see this ugly looking sort of spider thing, which is unloading all of the blocks from my boat. I don't like that.
I thought it was a trident.
Big old trident, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe like building some sort of dock and maybe even a big old walkway around the side of the lake where we could put shops and things.
Yeah, I think I even got a couple comments about down below here getting some sort of pier or dock set up that could connect to something. So yeah, I had a similar thought.
Oh, nice. Okay. With us both having similar ideas, we decided to work together on the project. However, before we could start, I needed to figure out exactly how my boat was going to be able to turn round in the lake. So really, what I need to do in this lake is create a system so my boat can drive in, do a big circle, and then drive out again, and also be able to line up with something that's not as ugly as this to unload its storage into my storage system. So I laid down a large circle of track at the bottom of the lake, and then gave it a test drive. So driving round my new circular track, it does appear that I'm able to go all the way round without smashing into anyone's things, but it's quite difficult to see exactly how much room I've got. Now, this view is giving me a bit more room, and it is quite a tight circle that the boat's having to go round, I suppose, but it is working. The other thing I've got to figure out is if I'm coming in here from the direction of the... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I need to be able to reverse down there. Yeah, we're going the right way, and I'm hoping I can come out of the tunnel without smashing into the wall. Oh, and I think we've just about made it. I think there was a bit of scrapage there, but otherwise it was all right. So if we come back out of this tunnel, as if we're just coming back from our island, and we come round there we go. We can go around that, and then we can do a big spinny slidey loop around the lake, and then hopefully if I hold spacebar down in a second, it's going to give me the opportunity to approach the station, and then we will basically be pretty much back in line to go back out again, which is fantastic. And we can fully automate that with stations and things and give this boat a driver at some point. And I have got some ideas how I can make this boat less laggy without completely destroying it. Although one of the things is to remove the drills and the other thing is to do with glue, but we'll get into that in a little while. First of all, I want to see how much room we've got around here for the boat and where the pier should be. The pier should probably come along this side. Oh, but then no, well, we might have to just stick it right out in the middle of the lake. It can't go this way now because that's the way the boat's coming round. So it's going to have to go on this side. But as it turns round, it's going to clip into it a bit. I'm sure we'll figure something out. But before I could get anything figured out, Legion arrived to start working on our dock town. We spent a little time in one corner of the lake coming up with the theme, which, because apparently we're not very original, ended up being a very vanilla spruce-themed dock, utilising spruce logs for the supports, extinguished campfires for the edging, and then spruce slabs for the walkway. which later we'd mess up with some trapdoors and other slab types to suggest wear and tear around the buildings that we hadn't built yet. We added some create shafts under the campfires for some structural integrity, which didn't work very well on anything that wasn't perfectly straight. And before we knew it, we'd reached the end of our allotted time for the afternoon. So we had a very quick discussion on what buildings we thought should go where. So I'm thinking we could probably fit like a little hut here, like a relatively large one, almost like a customs port thingy. Obviously, we don't want to plonk anything in front of Stam's basement, but then I think we could probably squeeze a couple more on here in between. Maybe just some stalls, actually. That could look really nice as just some market stalls with some villagers in.
Yeah, like a little farmer's market, all open air type of thing.
Yeah, and then this, I definitely think this would really benefit from having like a zigzagged, almost like what's over there, you know, the zigzagged thing going up, but with less stone and more just rickety, like wood barrels all over it, and like a mine shaft entrance going in underneath Chosen's base somewhere. I think could look really cool on that bit.
Like it's going to collapse at any moment type of look.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much just purely made out of spruce trapdoors and fences. Again, I think we could probably squeeze a couple of, like you said, built into the landscape, relatively big buildings on this bit. And then when we get round here, that's just going to be where, I guess, Throwlash and I start our power thing. So there's probably not much point in doing anything around this bit. So here we are. We have a not very attractive looking little docky piery area around the lake that needs an awful lot of work. Not only do all of the little buildings need building, but all of this needs fixing as well. Obviously, we need to make it look nice and interesting and not just very, very plain like it is. And we don't just want torches splattering all over it. We're going to need some lighting as well. The other things that need finishing are, of course, my brand new tunnel, which needs an awful lot of work, and my old tunnel as well, which also needs an awful lot of work. So I've got a crazy amount of stuff still to do just to get this lake area finished, not to mention the fact that we actually need a pier coming out from here that my boat can park alongside of to actually unload its stuff. But I don't feel like building buildings on a dock or decorating a tunnel or decorating another tunnel or building a pier right now, because I've been having some thoughts about mine and Throwlash's new power systems. Now, as you all probably know, there are a lot of windmills on our server. There are a ridiculous amount of spinny roundy moving things which, when you fly at them from a distance, start gibbling about because there's just so many of them for the world to load in. There's also quite a lot of water wheels and other contraption-y things moving around as well, like this one here at Mr. Beardstone's little farm that for some reason has stopped. And the biggest problem we're facing now at Spawn Town is because there are just so many things going on over here, it's getting a little bit laggy, even without shaders on. Normally, I get around about 500 FPS in Minecraft, and depending on where I look, I get anywhere from 80 all the way down to 44, which is still plenty for me personally, but it means that our PCs are already struggling with everything that's going on, which is exactly why Mr. Beardstone made a steam-powered power station, because Mr. Beardstone says that these steam power engines are a lot less laggy than water wheels and windmills, which is why he's got windmills in here as well. And water wheels. But I'm not so sure. Sure, these steam power engines do generate a lot of power, but I want to know how much lag per SU each different type of power generation makes. So here I am in a very flat world with absolutely nothing in it at all. And I have 4 of these worlds, one which is this one, which is totally empty, one with a steam engine in it, one with water wheels with equivalent stress of that steam engines, and another empty one that I haven't done yet, which is for wind. And if I look away from the sun with nothing on the screen and just leave it still, I get over 3,100 frames per second, with average 1% lows of around about 1,200 to 1,400. My GPU is using anywhere between 30 and 40%, and my CPU is doing very little at all. Now I'm going to be taking the maximum numbers that I get from each one of these things so that it's fair across the board. So next we're in this steam engine world, and I've set up a steam engine very similar to what Mr. Beardstone's got going on, albeit a lot smaller. It's got a bucket system with belts in order to fill lava from this creative fluid tank, because I don't have a massive big lava pit like Mr. Beardstone does in this test world. We've got a creative motor to pump the water into there and just get all of this running, and then there's a mechanical arm that takes the lava lava from the buckets, puts them into the blaze burners, and makes this whole thing work. And this generates 147,456 stress units. It's got 9 engines on it, and if I just stand here looking at the entire thing and make my screen go blank, we can see that my maximum frames per second now have gone down by half, and my 1% have gone from 1200 to 732, 769, 798. My GPU usage has gone from 40% up to nearly 50%, and my CPU is still doing very little at all. And the next thing we're going to be looking at is water wheels. And in order to create the same amount of stress that we are doing from this one very small little system, we need 288 water wheels, which just happens to be exactly what I've got in this world. Many water wheels, which combine together in this line of water wheels with water running underneath them. And yes, that's flowing water, which again, Mr. Beardstone doesn't like at all. We're achieving the exact same amount of stress. But how many frames per second am I getting? Let's find out. I need to be able to see all of them, so I'm just going to stand here like this. Oh, Mr. Beardstone. Oh dear, Mr. Fourth, 2,527. Oh, Mr. Beardstone. My utilization on my GPU is up significantly, but wow, am I getting a lot more frames per second. But that's not fair, FoxyNoTail. You're standing at the end and they go for miles. That's a good point. Let's get them all in view. Let's just get it into the middle, sort of a bit there. Up down to the floor. Now I can see every single one, and I'm getting in 2,500 frames per second. 2,550 is more now. 2,594. So that's pretty interesting. It's a lot more than I thought we were going to be getting from that many water wheels, but what about wind power? So this rather lopsided looking windmill is the maximum size you can get. It uses 128 pieces of wool, and that generates a total stress of 8,192. So how many of those do we need to make it equivalent to the steam engine? 18 of them. And there we go. We've now got 6 of them, so I just need that 3 times. So let's grab that. And that's 18. Of course, we do need to join them all together so that we can actually check that this thing's working. So I suppose we should probably start them first, and then we'll just join them all together in the middle. Then all we need to do is put our little stress meter on there, and there we go. We have 147,556 stress units coming from that. But how laggy is it? Let's find out. Oh, it's not doing quite as well as the water wheels, but it's not far off. 2,209, 2,226. And so now that I've got all of my figures, it's time to go back to that empty world and place down some signs. So those are the results. If you want to take a screenshot, please feel free. And that means that our leaderboard is in last place. We have Steam with a miserable 1,500 frames per second. In second place, we have Wind Power with an amazing 2,226 frames per second. But in first place, by a mile, we've got Water Wheels with a maximum of 2,594 frames per second. Now, yes, my GPU was hurting a lot more with the Water Wheels than it was with the steam engines, but I had more frames. And it's not just the maximum either. The 1% lows is the same story, and that just basically means the dips in your frames per second, what you're dropping down to. And yes, with Steam, less than 800, Wind 1,073, which was actually slightly better than Water Wheels with 1,071. So yeah, it looks to me like Wind and Water significantly better for my PC than Mr. Beardstone's steam engine. And there's one more thing I want to test, because again, Mr. Beardstone has used a lot of things that I think are also quite laggy. And those are of course chain conveyors, which I think are just as laggy as steam engines compared to shafts. So there's only one way to find out. Let's go and get all of these into my field of view just there like that. Get rid of everything else on the screen, and oh dear, Mr. Beardstone. Chain conveyors, even worse than water wheels, it would seem. 2,230 seems to be our maximum. Now I just need to make shafts that are the same distance of these. It's going at the same speed. Let's get it all in view. And yes, it is better. It's not much better, but it is better at 2,331 being the highest, which is definitely better than, it's not much better than chain conveyors, to be honest with you, but it is better. So there you have it, peeps. Water wheels and wind are definitely the way to go if you want power, apparently. So that means me and Throwlash can continue with our plans in the most laggiest world in the world. My frames per second meter can't even stay on the screen. It's that bad. Oh, geez. I promise I won't move anymore. No, kinda. I really think we should maybe get together at some point and maybe try and make this area a little bit less broken. Anyway, we're going to add to this with lots more laggy things inside of this tunnel. Before I go, I should probably just do one more test in those flat worlds because I completely forgot about shaders, which appear to be having an equally difficult time in this world actually turning on. So instead of using those, I'm going to use the good old-fashioned ones built into Minecraft. And currently, looking at nothing, we're getting 160 frames per second. Looking at Mr. Beardstone's laggy steam engine, we're getting 153 frames per second. Now, the windmills, we're getting nearly 160 frames per second. However, at the water wheels, not only can it not render them all in, oh my goodness, oh, it does if you zoom, but even with the few that are rendered in, we're getting only 30 frames per second, and if I render the rest of them, we get 8. So it turns out that maybe water wheels are not the best plan if you're using shaders. But realistically, no one in their right mind's going to be using shaders on the Just Create SMP because it is just so laggy. So therefore, water wheels are the winner, and I'm going to do everything out of wind just in case. Not steam, though.